Well, in this video, we are going to a little bit touch about Flexbox. One thing that I have come to notice is by default, React Native is built on top Flexbox, and you don't need to do much of a thing because you just need to like a little bit customize it more to make it work perfectly. But by default, it is using Flexbox, not just like the way you used to understand the HTML CSS. So let me start up the application by using the nps expo start in the terminal right now, and then as we can all see, it is already loading our Metro bundler. By now, I expect you to have your phone closed, and then you open up the expo app, and then you are ready to scan the QR code as soon as it appears on your screen. Well, just to carry you along, I'm not going to be using my own mobile app to scan for right now. Later on, I'm going to start doing that possibly when we are building the final project of this tutorial. But right now, I'm just going to just scan this QR code on your phone with your Expo app, and possibly you can be able to load up what we have already in our previous tutorial. Let me go to this link here. I will copy it and paste it in my browser. So I'm going to view the web version of it. Trust me, it looks almost similar. And in the nearest future, when we get to talk about some advanced things, I won't be able to see everything on my web browser again. So definitely we might later resort to using our mobile app, or I resort to using Android emulator, which is on my laptop. Okay, by now it should have loaded up, which as far as you see web bundle 2, possibly your phone will have shown what you have on your screen. So let me go back to the browser. Okay, so I don't know what is taking too long, but I think my laptop is a little bit. Yeah, as you can see, we have our hello world, and this is your first React Native app, and our image, just like we have from previous tutorial. Trust me, it's a process, and you need to watch previous video before you get to this stage. Skipping a video will actually let you confused, even if it's a bit. So generally, if you remember, initially we are having this idea of a box that I told you that the view components in React Native somehow serve like a div in HTML. So trust me, it's actually right. So we want to style the box. Right now we want to style it. So as you can see, that's a div with a class name of box, but we are going to add it as a styling, not the class name right now. That's just for example. So one thing you notice is when you are dealing with Flexbox in HTML, CSS, we used to have the first thing to be display flex. This is not like this. You can't do something like this right now. You can't call the class right now here. Just like the way you used to do in HTML, CSS, you can't call it. All you need to do is to add a style and then give it the style just like you did for the remaining part of it. So you do style and then you set it equals to, and then curly braces, you now call styles.box, because you name your styling styles, so styles.box. So styles.box, as you can see under it, we have styles.h1, style.h2. Continuously, that's how you keep on naming your styling. So style.box, and now we have perfectly called our box. So I want to do flex, but I want to do display of flex, but instead of doing display flex just as we know it, I'm going to do flex equals to 1, flex 1. What does this mean? This means this box should take the entire space that is remaining in my screen. So if I don't have anything yet on my screen, it's going to take everything. If I have something, it's going to take the remaining part of it that's left. So display of flex, instead of it, we use flex 1. Take every space that is left on the screen. So possibly that means it should take all my screen size. But as you can see, nothing actually changes, just as you know, but it is changing indirectly. You are just not noticing. And then we can just have the align items to be center we can align all the items of our code to be center, and we can also have justify content center, or as you know, we can change the justify content to space between, space around, and yeah, we can change to space between and space around, and it doesn't really it doesn't really matter. It depends on the way we want it to look. Let's check it up. We have our items aligned in the center, and then we have the space between. Like you can see, we have space at the top, space at the middle, everything has space in between them. That's why we call it space between. So we can check up the space around. No, this is space around actually. So, but we can check up the space between, which will not add space at the top and at the bottom, but it will just add us a space in between them. So space between will not add space to the top and the bottom, but it will add space in between them. You need to actually come down to understand how the differences between space around and space between is, but it's a very, very simple thing. You can see at the top right now, no spacing, and at the bottom, under the image, there's still no spacing. This is because we are using space between, but if it's space around, we are going to have spaces in those places too. Well, the app is looking good. Let's go back to our space around, and then another thing you see is we are having a background of black, right? Okay, first let's talk about the flex direction. Well, everything when you are dealing with Flexbox, by default, the flex direction is column. So nothing is going to change yet because we are still using flex direction to be column, which is the proper way to build a mobile application. But let's say I change it to row, and you can be able to see that we have another way of it like this. And trust me, this is not making sense right now because it's not a website. So we want it to be stacked on top of each other. So we are going to be using column, and you can just leave it like this or remove it entirely. By default, it's still use column. We can change the background color to anything of our choice. We can even add images, which later on we are going to be showing how to add image as background. But right now, we can see that the green color is not making sense to me, right? I don't know whether it's making sense to you, but due to the color of the text we have there, it's not looking proper, or let me say it's bad. That's bad coloration. So I'm going to just stick to the black color and even remove the line entirely. So that's just it, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.